What's up guys, welcome back to the next video in learning C++. So in the previous video we have seen created this program and with this boolean password function, and we have given pass1 and pass2. We declared the string data type. We take it from the user pass1 and pass2, and when we compare it, and when that was fine, all fine, but when we came here about the length, it was reading the first line, the first of this word, so it wasn't reading the second one. So we're gonna make a program now to find out the length of the line, see what was the line length. All right, so we're gonna delete everything whatever we have created from the last video. So we're gonna come all the way here, and I'm gonna erase this, delete this this one. So now we're gonna create a program to see, and I'm gonna clear everything. All right, so we make a password comparison program. We make a program, we make a line comparison program, or you guys call it the string comparison, but we're gonna compare the whole line. So how we do that? So for the first one, if you guys want to make it nice, we're gonna make it a little bit complicated and a little bit nice. So the first one is we declare the string global outside the main. Normally we create it inside it, it's a local, but now we're gonna put it outside, and we put a begin, and that is a string here, and we give it pass a literal string, and we are going to say so we put a please enter 2 lines of, say, sentence text, say because we want to see the 2 lines of text. And what we do is that we're gonna go on the next line, and then we do the line, and we say we don't want to do 50, and what we want to display in that line, we want to display this star. We close it, we come down here, and we put a cout. All right, so with the cout we're gonna display this line, and because we want to display this 50 stars here, and we're going to display this begin, and we want to end the line. Okay, now we're going to see how our program look. So we displayed the line. Okay, so we see how it looks. Alright, so it says please enter 2 lines of text. So it means that's our star here. Looks like this one needs to come down here. Okay, so what we do in here, in between here, so we create another one. In between them there's a buffer, and inside buffer we create the next line. Alright, so what we do, we build our project and we display it. It looks nice. Please enter 2 lines of text. Okay, that one looks nice. We're coming down, so we make this one, say we make it 40. Okay, you guys can create something else. You guys can create a $, anything else, but as soon as, because once you guys we pass this one here, when we display this from the global string on top, we displayed here inside our main, and that's what is rendering from the top. That's what's different. You guys can create it here as well. You don't need to create it on top. So that was, I try to show you guys the different methods that we can make our program look nice. All right, so as usual we're gonna put a cout, and we put a please enter first line. and we put a cin. Actually, I'll try to make it different from just cin. I'll try to make another method called getLine. So the getLine method takes this cin and the line, the whole line. So what I'll do is that I'll create a string here, and my string is gonna be, I'm gonna put a first line. So it's gonna be first line, and it's gonna be second line. Alright, so now I have a two string, and my string is gonna take the first line and the second line. And how do we gonna display this? Alright, so as I said that we can use the getLine method here, getLine in C++, and the first one is gonna take cin, and it's gonna be first line. Okay, the second one, getLine, it's gonna take cin as the first argument, and the second one is gonna be second line. So I'll put a second, it's not coming, second line. Alright, so now it's taking getLine is takes in the first in one line. It's exactly like cin. As with cin, we just we put a cin as we've used it in a previous video, like that. And with this whatever you guys put is the first line. And with this one, because this one is easier, this one getLine is with text on one line. So that's what's the cin. There is a two argument here. That first is cin, and we get to the first line. It's exactly same as cin, and then you guys put a first line. It's exactly same as that, but because text in one line. Alright, so now we, as usual, we're gonna compare it. So we say if first line, first fir first line is equal to second line, and then we're gonna see out, put a see out. We say both lines are the same. Alright, and we put an endl. So that's our first condition, that we're gonna check the first line and the second line. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and build our project, and then we run our project. Okay, so it says please enter the two lines of text. So the first line is gonna be, this is Corayo wood, and we also put a this is Corayo wood. So the first line and the second line is exactly the same, and it says that both line of the text are the same. It means it's the same. So what happens if I put it and it's not the same? Okay, this is first line, and this is second, and you guys see that there is no output because we haven't put the else. If you guys needs to put the rest, you guys needs to put the else as well. So what happens if the both lines not the same? So we put a else. That happens with the else. So we put a else, and it's gonna be see out. Both lines of text are not the same. So we run it. So we put a different lines. This is long line, this is the longest. So both lines of the text are not the same. So how about if you guys, as we said in the previous video, we make a program to tell us which line is longer and which line is shorter. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. So as now we have make a program that compares our two strings, the first line and the second line. There's two strings here, as you guys see here. That's the first line and the second line. And on the else, that's what we're gonna do. We use it something called ternary operator. So we put a C out, and we're gonna put the user, and we put the smaller line is, and we're gonna display the user the smaller line is, and we're gonna put a next line, and we put a C out. Okay, so I'll go back. So we call something like ternary operator the first line this less than the second line. So we use this comparison like greater than or smaller than. So we want to see if the first line is smaller than the second line, then what happens. Gonna put a question mark here and just put a first line, then we put a colon and a second line. Wow, and you guys might be thinking, what is this happening here? Why you put so many of these question mark and colons? This is called ternary operator. So inside the programming, so in order for this makes the whole this makes the job a lot easier. So you guys can compare this. If the first line is less than the second line, and what happens that it's going to evaluate here, and it's going to display us either the first line or the second line, which line is bigger than another line. All right, so the smaller line, now we're going to see the smaller line here. So this part is going to display the smaller line with one line of code that we have going to display which line is smaller than the next line. All right, so we're gonna build our project and we're gonna run. This is long line, and we put this is the longest long line. So we want to see there is the first one. So of course you guys see this one, the first one is shorter than this one. So the smaller line is, this is the longer line, this is the smaller line. As you guys see, this is the smaller line, this is the second one is bigger line. So the line 1 is smaller line and the line 2 is a bigger line. So our ternary operator here is working fine, is showing us the lines. So what happens, I'll put a tab here as well. So what happens, as we said in the previous video, that we gonna see the length of the line. So what we do is that we're gonna create this integer data type. So we say int length 1, and we say length 2, and we just put a 2. So we have now two data types of integer type. It's the length 1 and length 2 that we created. So the length 1, we're gonna assign first line dot length, and length 2. So we put a length 2 is equal to second line dot length. All right, so now we're going to see the length 1 and the length 2 second line dot length. So this, it works exactly the same like we work as with a password. So if length 1 is equal to length 2, so if it's equal to, then we see out and we say both lines have same, have the same, both lines. So we put a lines have the same length. Alright, so we go here and we put an del. So what happens if they're not the same? So we come here with our good friend else, and with the help of the else, what happens if they're not the then we say C out, and we put the shorter line is line is, and then we put a same as here, next line in tab, and we put an del, and here we gonna evaluate again with ternary operator. We just put a C out, we put our parentheses, and we put a L line 1 where I put it sorry, the length 1, not the line 1, the length 1 is like that, then the length 2. Then we say, because we are looking for which line is the shorter. Okay, length 2. Alright, so we at the ternary we put a length 1 and length 2, which one is, so if the length 1 is shorter than the length 2, and then we see which one is the first line, and then we put a second line, which one, second line. Alright, you put an del. Alright, now our program is going to evaluate that which line is shorter than the next line. Alrighty, so we built our project. Looks like we have a problem and we don't have an del here. Okay, so we don't have an del here. What about this one? This one, C out. Looks like we have an del here. Length 1, length 2. So it looks like this one is giving me problem. So I'll put a length 2. Okay, now it looks like it's all good. So I'm going to build my project. My project's working fine, and when I run, alright, so now we put a, please enter 2 lines of text. This is first line, and we put a this is second long line. Alright, so now we see which line is the shorter line is. This is the first line, that's the shortest line. Sorry, the smaller line is this one. This is the smaller line, and this is the first line, the shorter line. So there is a problem here, because we don't have to put the next line, and that one's fine. There was a problem here. So we go ahead again, we build our project, we run. Okay, so this is long line. Now we're gonna put a smaller line is, the shorter line is, because I didn't put the second ones. I'll run again. Alrighty, so we put something else. We put a Corayo wood, for example, and we put a Corayo wood channel, Okay, so now we have two lines, the first line and the second line. Okay, the smaller line is this Coraya word because reading this line, and the shorter line is the Coraya word. So again, but if you guys want to put something else, say for example the longer line, then you guys can put the longer line. The heart of this evaluation, this one, the ternary operator here is comparing the lines, and you guys can put a if you guys want to say like that, then you guys needs to change this one as well. The bigger line is, so I'll put a bigger line, and I'm going to change this one as well, the longest line. So what I'll do is I'll gonna say the longest line. Alright, so now we're gonna run it. You're gonna see that we have changed these guys here, and we put a both bigger, and this one the longer. I'm not sure why I put a bigger. So what I'll do is that I'm gonna still put this one smaller, and I'm gonna put this smaller as well, because I want to see which line is longer, not bigger or smaller. You can't have a bigger and smaller with the strings. Alright, so I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna build, and I'm gonna run. So I'm gonna put a long line, and I'm gonna long line. Okay, so I want to see which one's the smaller line is long line, which is fine. This is a smaller line. The longest line is this one, the long line. So that's the second one. It's perfectly fine. That's the smaller, and this is the longest. So our program works perfectly fine because program checking the lines, which line is bigger than the next line. So there you go, guys. That's how the line, the smaller and the bigger works. Okay, so what happens if the user put an empty line? Say if the user put an empty line, so how we evaluate, say if the user put an empty line, and here we put another evaluation here. If line 1, say first line, is equal to nothing, and second line is equal to nothing, then we put a evaluation C out, and we put a you must type something. Then we put a you must type some words to proceed. Alright, so we put another condition in our string, comparison string, that if the first line is equal to empty and the second line is also empty, then we put that you must put something for us to proceed. So we put a nice message here to tell the user. Alright, so we go here and we build our project, and then we run. Okay, so now this time we're gonna leave the line 1 and the line 2. So you guys see that if we leave here the first line and the second line is empty, then this one kicks in. You must type some words to proceed. So it means it's detecting this one, so we cannot go ahead if there is a first line and the second line is empty. So how about if you guys want to do this again and again, instead of this getting out and coming back? For example, if you guys want to it's like a game that you guys then you ask a user if the user wants to proceed or not. All you guys needs to do is go on top, and you guys needs to put a key. So you've put a first line in the second line, and we put another one, second one, we put a, say a keyword, and our keyword is, we put a Y. Okay, so we could put a key, and the key one's going to be Y, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna put a while here. So as I explained to you guys before, while if it's true. Okay, so the first one's gonna be here because we're gonna wrap around, and the second one's gonna be all the way here, because okay, so this is the else, and this is gonna be while. Yes, this is gonna be while, because our while loop. So what I'll do is that I'm gonna hold shift. Okay, so I'm gonna put a tab, I'm gonna move forward, so I'll put a tab and I'll move forward. So here at the while, as I said to you guys, while if the while something is true, then we proceed, otherwise we don't go ahead. So if we put a key is equal to y, or this is our the two pipes, key is equal to y. So if this condition is true, so the key is y, so we assign this y to this string. So this one is hold if this key is this one, our the key is y, the uppercase or lowercase, doesn't matter. If it's true, we're gonna proceed with this one, otherwise if it's not, then we don't proceed. All right, and we're coming all the way to the down. So inside this while loop, and we put a C out. Do you want to play this? Say we put a game. Do you want to play? Do you still want to continue? Do you still want to continue? Then we put a question mark, and after that we put a Y and N. Say Y or no. That's it. Easy as. And we're gonna ask the user if when the user, say for example, when you guys put a while loop, as I said, while checks the condition if it's true. If you guys put a yes, then it goes and loops this again and again and again and again. Easy as. So we're going to loop the program again and again if it's the condition is true. If the user put a yes, because the first time it's going to run, then it's going to ask you, and when you press yes, it's going to run, and when you press no, it's going to get out of the program. And then we say do, and we put a get line again, because we're taking this value from the user, and we put a C in, and what's after the C in is a key that we have declared on top. So I'll go here on top again, and I'll see this key. This is the key, and we're getting here. So when there is a user put a key inside, so we're gonna ask the user if the user put any key. If the user gonna put a yes or no, then we do command, and then we go here with the get line, and we're gonna get the both key. And after that we put a while loop again. We're going to say y, the key is not equal to y, and key is not equal to y, the big Y, and key is not equal to n, because the user is gonna put a yes or no, and the key is not equal to n. Okay, and then we say we're gonna get the key. If the user is gonna put a y, this program is gonna go ahead because it's got a y here. if the user gonna put an n, because we don't have n here on top, n is not true, then our program is gonna suspend when it's gonna throw us out. Simple as that. So that's what it is. If the key is not equal to y and the key is not equal to big Y and the key is not equal to this one, then the condition is true. So that's what it is. All right, so we run our program, we see for errors, we see if there is an error. So we build a project, there is no error, and we run our program. Okay, so it says enter the 2 lines of text, and the first line is gonna be, this is long line, and we put this is short because we want to put a short line here. And it says the smaller line is, this is the long line, the longest line is, this is a long line. All right, so and we say do you want to continue, and we say if we put a yes, and if the program loops again, as I said to you guys before. So we're gonna put a short, you guys can put anything short, and you guys can put a long, and that's our program working. And then we press again Y, it goes back, and this loop runs again, and then we put a high, and then we put a low, and smaller line is high and high. So that's a program. When we put an N, it throws us out. So you guys see that the press continue, so it means that our program is working fine. If you guys want me to repeat again, I'll repeat. This is only for display purposes. If you guys want to put how many stars on top, that's it. But the magic is this while loop here, the while loop, and you guys declare here that the while, and this while here, while, and if the key is Y, and this is the 2 pipes here, and the key is Y, lower Y or YY, then we take it for yes. And then we evaluate here again that if the keys we display the message, because we let the user go for the first time, and the second time we're going to ask if the user press this Y, it means this Y is okay. We're going to loop again. If it can encounter this Y, it's going to loop again. If it's not encounter the Y and encounter anything else, it means we don't have N here. But if you guys put an N here, our N here, then it means that our program runs indefinitely forever. But we don't want to do that. We don't want, as soon as user to put an N, any other keyword beside Y, then our program's gonna terminate and gonna throw us out. Simple as that. That's how you guys make the game, and that's how the programming works. So we make this one, our program now runs, and I'm gonna check again. You guys can put this one, say 25, maybe 25 here, the stars. Okay, so I'll put where is that? You don't have to put I want 25 stars, and you don't have to put this one. You guys can put anything else. So you guys can put a exclamation mark, up to you. Whatever you guys put it, you're the programmer, you're running the program, and it just follows your instructions. And when we run here, and you guys see there is a 25 of this one, because we put a 25 here of this one. You guys can put anything you guys like. All right, so it says please enter the 2 line of the text, and the first line is gonna be, say, the long line, the longest line. I'm gonna put the longest line. Okay, the smaller line is this one, and the longest line is this one. That's fine. And do you still want to continue? And we press yes, it asks us again. So the same things loops again, it comes back, and then we put a, say, we put a the lowest, and we put at the lowest, and we put at the highest. You guys, I know there is a spelling mistake, but doesn't matter, it's just a literal string for computer. So you guys can put a yes again, it loops again. So if you put empty, then our program, you must have some words to proceed. So it means this evaluating this one, even the empty one, because there's an empty line here and there is an empty line here, and that's what these conditions evaluate as well. So and we can fix this one, there is no problem, but it's gonna be extra and the video is gonna go longer and longer, so I don't want to do that. All I want to do, you guys, to understand that comparison and how we loop the program and how we display different methods inside the programs with the get line and cin. Cin is exactly like that. With get line, we get the line like this one, the long in one straight line, so we can do that. Okay, so do you want to still continue? And we press N, and you guys see that is an enter to continue. When we press enter, it means it's gonna throw us out of the program. All right, guys, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.